a long, long time ago, there were two friends. Their names were Dola and Babi. These two were not just friends. They were like sisters from another mother. From the time they were small children, running barefoot on the red earth, they did everything together. They would fetch water from the stream, their laughter echoing through the trees. They shared secrets under the moonlight, promising to always be there for each other, no matter what. Their bond was so strong that everyone in the village knew where you saw Dola. Babi was surely close by. By a wonderful chance, they both married into the same family, becoming wives to two brothers. Now they were not just friends, but sisters-in-law, living in the same compound. They continued to share their days, cooking in the same kitchen, going to the market together. Their husbands were happy to see their wives so close. The whole family felt the warmth of their special friendship. It was a perfect picture. In those early days of their marriage, their love for each other was pure and simple. If Dola had a little extra yam, she would share it with Babi's family. If Bibi needed help pounding fufu, Dola's hands would be there to help. They were a team, a powerful force of two hearts beating as one. The village elders would often point to them as an example of true friendship. But sometimes life has a way of testing even the strongest of bonds, bringing challenges that nobody can ever expect. And their test was just around the corner. One day, Dola found a small, struggling plant near her hut. It was a kola nut tree, but it looked very weak and dry. Dola had a kind heart, not just for people, but for all living things. She decided to take care of this little tree. Every single morning before the sun was too hot, she would carry water to it, whispering words of encouragement. She cleared the weeds around it and protected it from hungry goats. Seeing Dola's effort, her dear friend Babi wanted to help. Babi had a large clay pitcher, bigger than anyone else's. She told Dola, "My sister, use my pitcher to water your tree. It will save you from making many trips to the stream." Dola was so grateful for this act of kindness. So every morning, Dola would borrow Babi's big pitcher, fill it to the brim, and give the kola nut tree a good long drink. With the care of both friends, the tree began to grow. It grew taller and stronger, its leaves becoming a vibrant green. Years passed, and the small plant grew into a magnificent, sprawling kola nut tree. It was the biggest and most fruitful tree in the entire village. One day it began to produce kola nuts. But these were not ordinary nuts. They were special, magical kola nuts that were always fresh and sweet. People came from all over to buy them. Suddenly, Dola became very rich. She had more money than she had ever dreamed of. She built a new house, bought beautiful clothes, and could provide everything her family needed. Dola was a good person, and she did not forget her friend. She was always generous to Babi, sharing her newfound wealth. In the beginning, Babi was happy for Dola. She celebrated her friend's success and was glad to see her prosper. But as Dola's wealth grew bigger and bigger, a small, dark seed of jealousy began to grow in Babi's heart. The seed of jealousy in Babi's heart grew into a bitter weed. "This wealth is not just Dola's. I helped her. It was my pitcher that watered that tree." This thought consumed her day and night. She began to see Dola not as her friend, but as someone who had taken something from her. The laughter they once shared turned into strained smiles. The easy conversation became filled with uncomfortable silence. One morning, the tension exploded. Dola came to borrow the pitcher. Babi refused. "You will not use my pitcher again unless you agree to give me half of all the money you make from the tree," Babi declared. Dola was shocked and hurt. She tried to reason, reminding Babi of all the gifts she had given her. But Babi's heart was hardened. An ugly argument broke out. The big clay pitcher fell and smashed into 100 pieces on the ground. The sound of the breaking pot was like the sound of their friendship shattering. Babi was furious. She took the matter to the village court. She told the elders that Dola had broken her pitcher and refused to pay her for helping with the tree. The elders listened to both sides. It was a difficult case. After much deliberation, they made a strange judgment. The tree now belonged to Babi. All the kola nuts belonged to Dola. This judgment was a disaster. Dola could no longer go near her own tree. Babi owned the tree, but had none of its nuts. In anger, Babi did something terrible. She went to the kola nut tree and cut it down, destroying the source of the wealth she wanted. Despite the pain and betrayal, Dola's heart was still kind. She and her family were no longer rich, but she did not hold on to anger. Life went on, and the two women lived separately in the same compound, their friendship a distant memory. One day, there was a big festival in the village. Baby's daughter wanted to look her best. So Babi, swallowing her pride, came to Dola. She asked to borrow a beautiful, heavy brass ring for her daughter to wear. This brass ring was not just any jewelry, it was a valuable family heirloom. Dola, without any hesitation, agreed. She gave the ring to Babi, hoping this small act of kindness might begin to heal their broken bond. The festival came and went. A few days later, Dola politely asked for her ring back. But Babi had bad news. Her daughter had lost the ring while she was dancing at the festival. They had searched everywhere, but it was gone. Dola was upset, but she was patient. She gave Babi time to find it. Weeks turned into months, and the ring was still missing. Feeling that Babi was not taking the matter seriously, Dola finally took her to the village court. She explained to the elders that her precious brass ring was gone, and Babi had done nothing to replace it. The elders remembered the previous case with the kola nut tree. They remembered Babi's destructive actions. This time, their judgment was swift and harsh, following the old law of an eye for an eye. They declared that since Babi could not return the valuable item she had borrowed, her own daughter's hand, the one that wore the ring, must be cut off as payment. A terrible silence fell over the court. Babi screamed in horror. She threw herself at Dola's feet, begging and crying for mercy. She pleaded for the life and limb of her child. As Dola looked down at Babi, a broken woman crying at her feet, she did not feel triumph. She did not feel the satisfaction of revenge. Instead, she saw the friend she had grown up with, the woman who was like a sister to her. She saw a terrified mother, desperate to save her child. Dola's heart filled not with hatred, but with deep compassion. She remembered their shared laughter, promises under the moonlight, years of love before jealousy came between them. In that moment, she knew she could not continue this cycle of pain. She could not let a child be harmed for the mistakes of a parent. Dola turned to the elders and spoke, clear and strong. "I do not want this judgment. I forgive Babi. I release her from the debt. The ring is gone, but a child's life is worth more than any treasure. Let her daughter go free." A wave of relief and admiration washed over the crowd. The elders were stunned by her grace. Forgiveness over revenge was more powerful than any punishment. It came from true strength and a truly kind heart. This act of mercy changed Babi. She looked at Dola with eyes of shame, gratitude, and renewed love. The shell of jealousy was shattered by forgiveness. She understood the terrible path she had taken and the value of the friendship she almost lost. From that day on, she made things right. She became Dola's loyal, devoted friend again. Their bond, tested by jealousy, saved by forgiveness, grew stronger and more precious than ever before. The story teaches a timeless lesson. Paying back bad for bad creates sorrow and destruction. Forgiveness wins. Forgiveness stops the cycle of pain, heals the deepest wounds, restores what was broken. Like Dola, let go of anger, embrace compassion, free others, free ourselves. Let friendship and love flourish once again.